Is everyone ready?
I think so.
Do you feel ready?
I'm still a bit nasal, aren't I?
You are a little bit nasal. You're not well.
No. Do I come across... What do I sound like, I wonder? Do I sound
Jerk.
like...
Sexy as hell.
Massive jerk.
Wow.
Somewhere in the middle of those two spectrums.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to Nerdschatting.
Movie, TV, comic chat.
Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, what a team. What a team.
Yeah.
Welcome to Nerdschatting, movie, TV, comic chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome, everybody, to the Nerdschatting podcast, part of the Nerdschatting network.
He's done it!
Yes! I got it this time. It's only
Networking.
3 or 4 weeks I've tried to say that and got it wrong. But so we are the Nerdschatting podcast, part of the Nerdschatting network. We have other podcasts you might want to listen to other than the Nerdschatting podcast. The Things That We Like, which is a podcast by Ben Idem about...
Hello.
about things we like, I think.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's things that I like, and then other people may like it, and I may get them on. Got myself lined up for what I'm going to do after my memories of England at the World Cup. It's probably going to be a talk about American Werewolf in London with Jim Bob Squarepants.
Very nice. You can also check out Just Chatting, which is everyday conversations with everyday people. All can be found on the Nerdschatting feed wherever you search for it.
And I don't have anything.
Well, you will do. We've
Maybe.
just been doing this for a couple of years.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
right. So I've
branching
got a
out.
couple of years to grow into this.
Indeed,
Get
yeah.
into my big boy pants.
Exactly. You're still in training
I'm just...
pants.
I am, yeah, actually. Ben, unfortunately, you drew the short straw, and it's your time to change me.
Yeah. He's a bit stinky.
I'm adept at these things.
This week we're going to be talking about I titled it Everything Superman on the document that we have, but I'm tempted to call it Everything Superman or Everything Superman
Man?
Part 1,
Oh,
because
okay.
I don't know if we can cover it all in one go, especially in a limited time frame we have today. Because I've got to go and catch a train soon, haven't I?
Yeah, I just got to go to the big city.
The big city, the
Big
big
city
smoke.
smoke.
Yeah, very nice. But yeah, so we're talking about some Superman stuff.
Because it was his 80th birthday in April, and we forgot it because we didn't forget it. We knew it was happening, but there was a lot of other stuff happening, wasn't there?
And I think we can just stretch it out through the year, because I reckon later on this year there'll be some other Superman-y stuff we want to talk about.
Oh,
'cause I think-
SDCC coming up.
Yeah, and I think this week we'll probably focus on live-action Supermen, shall we?
Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that.
That feels
Supermen.
appropriate. Yeah.
Yes.
Before that, should we do some broken news?
Let's do some news.
I'm not cutting that out.
Don't.
Broken news.
So, okay, we've got a little bit of news here. It's so old, it's not breaking, it's already broken. And I'm gonna whiz through this super quick.
Good.
Yeah.
So, all of the Star Wars spin-off films have been canned. Oh no, they haven't. So
Thank goodness.
yeah. So basically, there are some Star Wars spin-off movies that have been rumoured. Nothing's been officially announced.
Absolutely.
James Mangold apparently is writing and directing Boba Fett, but it hasn't been officially announced by Lucasfilm, but it was done by THR?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Back yourself.
And supposedly there's an Obi-Wan movie coming, and then someone said, oh, no, yeah, we're definitely cancelling them because Solo, a Star Wars movie, didn't do very well. And it's just not true at all. Not in any way.
Well, I mean, it's true that Solo, a Star Wars movie, a Star Wars story, didn't do very well financially.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame because it's a great film.
Great
Great.
film.
We all
we
loved
liked it.
it.
We liked it.
Yeah.
But I think the problem with it is, we are going to get through this quickly, but the problem
Sure.
with Solo is it doesn't have much of a point. Like, it's really entertaining, but like, why does it exist?
I don't need to see how Han Solo got his blaster. It is nice to see how he met Chewie.
Yeah.
That's probably my favourite bit of it.
Yeah. And he can speak a bit of Wookiee, which is great. You know? That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
someone just stepped on your toe.
Hey! Boom, boom.
Thank you very much.
So this news story, basically, it sort of broke everywhere. It came from, ABC said that was it ABC?
Someone broke it. Everyone else
spoke to
jumped on the
Lucasfilm.
bandwagon.
Lucasfilm were like, no, we're moving forward with loads of stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was a great tweet by Anthony Bresnikan, who's from EW, and it was the Captain America stepping over a chair and sitting down, and it's like, from Homecoming.
Oh, yeah,
Homecoming.
yeah.
So you're thinking about
So you
taking
got
drugs?
detention. It's that bit.
Oh, yeah. And it says, so you believe the story that said Lucasfilm was cancelling the Star Wars standalone films? I thought that was very clever. Very good. So just don't worry about it. It's coming.
Nah, there'll be more Star Wars
Star
films.
Wars is coming forever.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
because Disney have got more money than sense. And the second story, which we've reported about so many times now, and how much on earth can we talk about this anymore? But guess what? Who knew? Disney outbid Comcast for all of the Fox properties. 71.3 billion offer.
In other news, water is wet.
Indeed.
Is it? What? No.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
blown your mind.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we knew
unbelievable.
Disney were going to come back in and outbid this.
Yeah.
Outbid Comcast, and great, good stuff. Now, can we have a decent Fantastic Four in the MCU, please?
Yeah, I mean, I know we talk about this a lot, about how we're torn back and forward on whether there should be a monopoly of
I don't
characters
care.
in
Give
one
everything to
space.
Disney.
Yeah, and
Give
I think
everything to them.
the way I feel today is I'd like to see Disney's Fantastic Four. I'd like to see Disney's X-Men, because I'd like to see an X-Men film that actually focused on what I would call the X-Men Blue team. Like the primary team, like Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, Jean Grey,
yeah,
and Angel.
Yeah.
Those guys are the kind of the core original. Make Cyclops a badass.
Yeah.
In the comics, he's like the super badass.
And he doesn't emit red beams either, does he?
No, we had this conversation in the car.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
You didn't think I'd remember
No,
it, but
yeah.
I did.
Pure energy, right?
Concussive blasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's got a brother, and I can't remember his name, but they can't
Havoc.
use their skills on each other.
No, yeah. Did
See
you know
what
that?
I do? I'm like a sponge, mate. I'm like a sponge.
What's Havoc's first name? Scott Summers and
Alex Summers.
Alex Summers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Summers.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
but normally like Alex's Havoc-y blast things would like blast someone in half, and
Can't do it.
But it would just on Scott it just goes bleh.
Yeah, because he's whatever. It's great. I want all the. I don't think that Disney. I mean, Weekly Planet talks about this, and I kind of agree with something that they said. Because Disney are buying this, they're probably buying it so they can get their hands on some of the Marvel comic book characters that don't exist in their universe, but will now. They won't potentially hold on to everything that they buy. They may fire sale some of this stuff off. Weekly Planet said this. I totally agree. So they're buying out Fox. They're buying Fox's entertainment properties. They'll hold on to what they want and maybe sell on the rest.
Wow.
So that 70 whatever it is billion that they've spent, they might make 35 of that back with future sales.
I wonder if they'll just slice it up in their different. They've got different output devices, not just Disney. They've got Lucasfilm, they've got Marvel, and they've got some other stuff. Does Buena Vista still exist?
Probably.
They've got lots of subsidiaries, which if you look into...
That's where the live action Disney films from like the 90s and noughties came from, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've got lots of subsidiaries that are Disney owned, but you wouldn't necessarily know about it. Like Muppets is Disney, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Is
but
it?
Muppet, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So there's a lot of stuff where you go, oh, didn't know that was Disney. I wonder if they'll just go, right, well, that looks like a Marvel thing. That looks like this thing. That I wonder if they'll just go, yeah, just slice it up, or they'll make a new branch that's called the Fox Disney
Channel.
property. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Disney are going to turn into, in the movie, the Disney Pixar movie WALL-E,
Yeah.
by and large, is like the company that runs America.
Yeah.
Disney are going to run America basically
Yeah,
at
of course
some
they
point.
are.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
really good with the impressions today.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's better than his Chewie.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's not better than my
No
TIE
one likes a
Fighter.
Nate
It's
Chewie.
not better than my TIE Fighter. I've done that. How many times have I done the TIE Fighter?
Don't do it again, please.
It's good.
It's a
actually
good TIE Fighter. I'm sorry,
That
even
is
though I
a
do
great-
say so
that's a great
myself.
one. That is
I don't
great.
get arrogant about many things that I do, but my TIE Fighter is...
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Honestly, smashed out of the park.
Thank you.
I'm editing that bit out of the
No,
podcast.
please don't, because there was a TIE fighter. We normally get planes that fly through.
Yeah. But that's
Yeah,
just a
But
TIE
today,
Fighter, yeah.
there was a TIE fighter.
Today was a TIE
In fact,
fighter.
Isn't that the moon of Endor?
Yeah, what else can be said about that? Yeah, great, good, fine, good.
Yeah, give
we
it
knew
all
it was going to
Disney.
happen.
Make
They
massive
seem to
universal
be doing good things
great
with
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
But
Good.
why would Fox sell? But I know it's a lot of money, but surely they could make lots of money out of these movies themselves.
I think they're
I don't think they're doing. I think they're seeing what Disney have done.
Yeah.
And then they've tried it with X-Men, and they've gone, we've not really cracked that. We've done okay,
Yeah.
but we're not seeing the money that they're seeing. We could see 70 billion out of this.
That's a lot of
Give
cash,
that. I mean, that's a lot of money.
But it
What does
also-
that look like?
it's,
How much does that cash look like?
It depends how big the
I'm just
denominations
let's
of
put
the
it in,
notes
let's
are.
have it in notes. Just at the highest denomination.
five?
note.
It's the lowest denomination.
No,
note.
highest denomination.
Five,
note.
five,
What's
£10
the highest note that you can have? Is that 50?
50.
50, yeah.
50.
You want a fiddy?
But
No,
in
really,
America,
yeah.
you could have $100, couldn't you? Bill?
Yes. Yeah, $100 bill.
Yeah.
That's like Scrooge McDuck's. Do you remember the tower that he used to
Yeah,
swim in
he
all his
used to
money?
swim in his money.
Yeah, that's what that would be like.
I think that would technically kill him when he dived into
Yeah.
all that really hard coin. Anyway, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
sorry.
We're
But
tangenting.
Rupert Murdoch, who
Sorry.
owns Fox, is a newsman.
Yes, he
And
is.
so I wonder if he wants to get back to his roots. I wonder if he's got a lot of stuff there that's...
Sorry, I'm laughing. Yeah, he's a newsman. I guess.
yeah, but that's his origin, right?
Yes, it
you know,
is,
that's
That's his
what-
origin story.
Yes, his origin story. Yeah. oh my
His
god!
origin story
Oh my
is
god!
a megalomaniacal newsman.
Disney biopic of Rupert Murdoch because they bought Fox. So his
Oh,
origin
So
story.
now they own him.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, that's
okay, sticking with Disney and Marvel, we now know the Spider-Man Homecoming title because
Homecoming sequel title.
Yes, sorry,
Yeah,
apologies.
yeah.
Tom Holland, now for people not in the room with us, leaked it. That was me doing air quotes.
Right,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice air quotes
Yeah,
as
thank
well.
you. He didn't leak it. It was massively controlled in
course it
every
was.
way. It was like
It was a very contrived situation, wasn't it?
It's called Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Which
And
is
the-
completely opposite from his Homecoming.
Indeed. So the quote from Feige was, well, when does this movie take place? We know it's the summer. I think it's summer vacation. I think he's going to Europe with his friends. I don't know what summer. I mean, I do know, but you don't.
Oh,
Wow.
nasty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's going, I think it's a lot of London-y stuff in
London?
there. London.
You might see him there
Yeah.
filming today when you go up there.
Which is funny because Tom Holland is from that sort of area.
What, Essex?
No. We had a conversation recently where he thinks Essex is London.
I thought.
Really?
Yeah, true story.
Okay. I
Well,
don't really know what to say to that.
And-
if
and,
I'm honest with you.
it's-
but,
Let's take this offline.
It's the
Sure.
it's the Cockney Essex accent confusion because they're different things.
Apparently
Yes.
East
And it's
Anglia.
like East Anglia, and like that's like saying that Cornish and Devon accent's the same.
It's
Oh,
completely different.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Okay.
And also, Bristolian and
Yeah.
Devon is
Yeah.
not the same.
No, indeed.
Anyway.
Anyway, Far From Home thoughts.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by the Homecoming film, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Homecoming was great.
It was awesome.
I don't know that
I'm
I
nodding my
liked.
head in approval.
I don't know that I like the name Spider-Man: Homecoming. I don't know that I like the name Far From Home, but it didn't seem to matter for Homecoming. So why
No.
would it matter for this?
No, it's a Spider-Man film. People would just call it Spider-Man 2, won't they? You know, Spider-Man 2, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Well, Marvel Sony Spider-Man 2. You know, the one that is in the MCU. That's Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man, that's what
Spider-Man
Tom
Far
Holland
From
did.
Home.
Yeah.
I saw a really brilliant fan-made poster for Spider-Man 3 in this universe, and it was just called Spider-Man Homies, and it was the Peter Parker suit leg, and then next to it, the Miles Morales suit leg, and it was like bringing them together. How great would that be if the third film was Homies? Don't think they'd go down that route. So
No.
it sounds like a slang term, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. But yeah, that would be good.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. When is this film coming out? It's not next year, it's the year after, right?
It's tomorrow.
Okay, I thought
Film's
so.
coming out tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, it's
Oh,
out
wow.
tomorrow, yeah.
They turn
Yeah.
these films around really quick
Yeah,
these
they
days.
They
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do.
yeah.
They crack the
Productions.
special effects, you know. They can
Yeah.
all do it on an iPhone these days, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyway, sorry.
Last piece of news?
Yes.
Sure.
Forget everything, nothing else matters. Invincible TV series.
So this dropped last week.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately messaged the Invincible podcast, friends of ours, Ryan, who I think was on holiday with his wife, having a belated honeymoon. So he was in the same time zone as me. He replied immediately, "Oh my God, it's happening. We're both so excited. I'm so excited. This is the best thing ever."
Okay, so to be clear, what's happening here is that in the comic book called Invincible, which Ben and I are huge fans of, which had its final issue a few months back.
Yeah.
It's a massive galaxy sprawling, long-term soap opera, drama, sci-fi, superhero, fantastic comic book, which we know is being made into a film, which is going to be written and directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg in some form or other.
Yeah.
Is also getting a TV series, an animated TV series made by Amazon.
Wow. Yes.
See, now Ben and I
Yes.
had a discussion about this, whether we should put this on the news story, or on the news list, because you haven't read Invincible. And Ben was like, we've got to get JB to read it. And I said, well, hang on a minute. You're new to comic books. You've got a backlog of stuff already.
Oh, God, have I got a backlog of stuff?
Yeah.
My goodness.
But maybe this TV show is your way in.
I think it's going to get me up to speed.
I think it's the right way to do it.
Yeah, and it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's not hashtag Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in. I'm looking forward to this.
So it's an 8-episode adult animated series focused on Mark Grayson, a normal teenager in every way, aside from the fact that he's father is the most powerful superhero on the planet. So I think that'll probably be season 1. It'll probably be the first 12 issues.
Or so, yeah, definitely.
I'm on it.
And then it will get completely and utterly.
Then it will just go bonkers.
Do we know when this has been around? No. What do we know when it's been released?
No, it's going to be animation. I don't think they've got a showrunner involved yet. Kirkman will want to be involved in some way. I hope they get Corey Walker and
they got
Ryan
Simon
Otley involved.
Rakopa?
Yeah,
As the showrunner?
Yeah,
oh, have they? Oh, I do beg your pardon.
Why do these people get these names? They're so cool.
I know, but
What's the name?
he's Teen Titans. He's working on, isn't he? So he's the showrunner for this as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a bit of a internet confusion at first off to think that this might replace the live action film, but actually apparently both are happening. So.
Are they going to do you think they'll complement each other?
Yeah, I think
they'll
be linked. I don't think they'll be linked.
Okay.
No, I think the animated series will be almost almost page for page recreation of the comic book, with some creative differences here and there. Whereas I think the movie is going to be Invincible in name, but very different to what we've seen on the page.
And how many comics are there?
144.
Wow.
I have a question for you, James.
Yes.
Now, I know that you are a sponge for this sort of information.
Uh-oh.
But putting you on the spot slightly, and this is fine for you to not know anything. What do you know about Invincible? Because we've talked about it a fair bit, but we've probably not talked about details.
No, only you've mentioned it in passing, maybe for the last couple of pods, and I've kind of been semi-interested when you were talking, but I don't really know anything.
It's a big. To read the comic book is a huge commitment, and you're already behind with whatever you've got.
Oh my God,
which, by the way, you're not going to get through if you don't actually start reading some of these comic books.
I feel like I'm being told off by my two life coaches.
Yeah, damn right.
How do you want to improve yourself?
You need to read all of Invincible. But no, listen, it's 144 issues. It's a huge commitment. It does take a long time to get through. But don't get me wrong, it will be the best thing you will ever read. And I can't guarantee that, but I'll be amazed if you
Who's
don't
got
love
all the
it.
comic books then?
I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I have got the dedication when I put my mind to it.
I know, yeah. We're thinking about Walking Dead, which and there's a
smash
link
through
there.
that. There is a link.
Robert Kirkman wrote Walking Dead, and he wrote Invincible as well. Anyway, I feel like I'm putting it on to you. But what
you are, Ben.
No. But it's nice that you're fresh into it.
Yeah. You guys are pretty excited about this.
I would half want you to just watch the TV show and not read the comics.
I sort of agree. I sort of agree, because I think what you'll do is you'll watch the TV show and think, God, this is, incredible. I need more. And so more will be, here you go, here's the comic book. Go back to the source. And then, of course, you'll get the movie as well, and then you'll be walking on air, mate, like the rest of us.
I would say that normally you guys are right, so I'll do what I'm told.
It's very accessible. I think
in this instance.
Yeah, I think the story is very accessible, and you don't need to know much going into it. It explains it. It's almost. I think the concept is, if you were to boil it down, is almost what if Spider-Man was Superman, sort of, because it's about a character who is very Spider-Man-esque. He's kind of like a nerd, but he's a good-looking chap. He kind of bumbles through. He's a normal guy. He's a very normal guy, who happens to then get superpowers very similar to Superman, but his backstory is different. So it's kind of like that. It starts out very
Does he have any
high
weaknesses
schooly.
like Superman?
Yes. Not going to go into them because they're spoilers.
Okay.
I think
the world he inhabits, though, is a world where superheroes exist. His father is the world's greatest superhero.
All right.
A Justice League type team exists. And it's really exciting. It's also a very violent world.
Oh, incredibly violent.
So, it's not like, they punch the villain, they put him in jail, and then he's back next week. The villain tends to, whoever it is,
Has their head ripped off.
tends to have their head ripped off or a hole punched through their stomach, and it is graphic.
I always forget the name of the dinosaur character that I like.
Dinosaurus.
I want to say Dinosaurus, but then I got it wrong last time because I said Devil Dinosaur, and that was a character from Marvel.
Yes.
There's a character called Dinosaurus, which is like a 12-foot dinosaur T-Rexy type thing.
Yeah.
In this is not spoilers because it's much later on, and it's not spoilers. But at one point, one of the characters just grabs its jaws and just rips it open. And it's all there to be bared on the page, that sort of stuff. So
that's savage.
Very violent. But
Don't mess with dinosaurs.
It's the sort of thing that I think that if Nate wasn't interested in the story to the level that he was, he would have gone, oh no,
Too much.
and put it down.
Yeah.
Because Nate doesn't like graphic violence for the sake of it. It's a testament to how great of a story Invincible is that Nate went, this fits in the story and the world that they've built, and I'm going to keep reading because I love it.
agreed.
I think.
Okay.
So there you go. So if Nate can deal with the graphic violence,
Oh, I can.
that just goes to
I've got
show
a
you
much
how
stronger stomach
good
than
the
Nate
story
has.
is.
True, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it goes to show how great a story it
Right,
is.
I'm on.
You
I'm
are
in.
far more of a man than I am. And we can clear that up now.
Very
Yeah.
noisy plane going
See,
over.
no, it's a TIE fighter. Yeah, it just sounds a little bit different.
That's why you don't like my TIE fighter impression, because you can't do one as well as I can. No, yeah.
I can't do it.
Can you do a Grand Prix car going past as well?
I see it. I'd have to. No, that's not that good, is it?
No.
It's no.
Okay.
No. It's that gravelly crackle on the back of the throat.
Yeah, I'm good at it.
Yeah. Nerd scene?
Yes.
Nerdscene. Nerdscene.
I got nothing on here today.
Wow.
I probably should have. I probably have seen some stuff, but I can't think right now. Jimmy Carr's stand-up? That was kind of sexually explicit.
Well, did anyone heckle him?
Yeah.
And if they did he then make a reference about that person's mum?
Yeah.
Yeah, standard Jimmy Carr.
Yeah.
Why would you ever in your life want to heckle a professional comedian?
Maybe you
They
have.
have got a backlog
Yeah.
of jokes that will knock you out of the park.
Well, I tell you,
It will destroy you as a
And they
person.
practice them as well.
well,
Yeah.
he said there's almost always heckling. Let's have a heckling amnesty, and he
Yeah.
just opens it up and says, "Right, you want to crack on? Go for it now. Now's your chance." And he lets them do it, and then he comes back and says
Go-
things about their mums being
and just,
prostitutes and
and
things.
just
You know.
completely rips them apart.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I've been to stand and I needed a wait and I do not want to get up. I would rather wee myself than get up in front of a
Yeah, yeah.
stand-up comedian because they'd be like, "Oh, so you don't like the show then?"
Have you ever had a comedian open up on you?
No.
I have. I was at a work conference, and it was the guy who's on The Chase, the doctor from The Chase. I can't remember his name.
Right.
Oh, Paul
something?
Sinner.
Paul Sinner,
Yeah.
So he was a stand-up comedian at this conference I went to, USISA conference.
Yeah.
And I was wearing a shirt that he took umbrage to, and he destroyed me for about 20 minutes, and it was excruciating.
Yeah.
I did not like it at
It's
all.
like someone's put something in a vice and they're just.
And I didn't
turning it.
heckle him. I was just sat there.
Your shirt heckled him.
My shirt took.
What shirt was it?
It was just a blue shirt with some what was it like coconut trees on it. Like
Well, no wonder.
white
No
co-
wonder. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
it
they
sounds
weren't like
horrendous.
So it tells-
whatever.
Yeah, it's like did he say if you just come back from eating a bounty or something?
Oh, nice.
No, but it was rough.
That was a
There
good
there were sort of casting aspersions on my sexual orientation and all sorts.
Right.
And I bet that I received rather than pitched. And
Well, you're a
that sort of
furry,
thing.
right? You only like.
I've got
you
no
only
idea
like-
what that
You
is.
only like people that dress up as stuffed animals.
What?
I've got no idea what's
Everyone
going on.
Google that right now.
I've
Furries.
got no idea what's
Google
going
Mate,
on.
furries.
I'm on my work Wi-Fi. I'll do
Anyway,
that.
what are we talking about?
Yeah,
Nerdscene.
incognito mode.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you saw Logan Lucky.
I saw Logan Lucky.
Don't
I
spoil it for me,
won't
please,
spoil it,
'cause I
but
really
it
wanna see
is very much redneck Ocean's 11, and it's great fun.
I want to see it because it's got Kylo Ren and it's got Daniel Craig and it looks great and it's got Magic Mike in it. And
Yes, Magic Mike is in
Magic
it.
Mike, Kylo Ren, and James Bond.
Kylo Ren and James Bond are great in this movie,
Yeah.
and Magic Mike's good in it as well.
And it's Soderbergh, isn't it?
It is,
Didn't he
yeah.
come out of retirement for the 4th time?
Probably, yeah.
Is it? What's this about? Tell me more. Because it's.
No,
Yeah, can you do the
Alright.
premise of it?
Okay, premise is guy loses job. His brother, who has a disability, let's just say, is convinced that their family has a curse on it,
Right.
and they want to do something to prove that the curse isn't real. So they decide to rob somewhere, and I really can't go into it any more than that because it will spoil aspects of the film.
Okay.
Okay.
It's don't get me wrong, it's not laugh out loud, but the plot moves along. You're engaged with the characters. Daniel Craig's brilliant in it.
But that's
He's
that's
brilliant in
Soderbergh
it.
all over. He doesn't do funny. He does like quite dark. Like, that's an interesting take on society.
Yeah,
You know.
it's very good. Plus, it's all like deep south
Yeah.
stuff.
It's perfect,
They
isn't
keep
it?
on driving across the border between, I think, West Virginia and North Carolina, or maybe
No.
those two are nowhere near each other.
Tennessee.
No, I can't remember.
Were they
I'll
listening
have a
to
look.
John Denver at the time? Because I was South
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Or it might not be the right song.
Hang on. I will
West
look it up.
Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Yeah.
That song's in the
Jamie O.
film.
Is it?
It's kind of important.
Yeah, brilliant. Love John Denver.
Yeah. No, West Virginia doesn't. It's Kentucky, Virginia.
I don't know.
That's the only things it borders with.
They keep on driving across the border in the film because there's like a town close by. I can't remember, but
Okay.
it's good. It's very good. You'll love it.
Cool.
You'll love it.
You saw a documentary about Andre the Giant.
Oh my word, yeah. So I'm of that age where I went through a phase of absolutely loving wrestling.
Yeah,
Okay,
me too.
Let's just put it out there. Okay, we know it's scripted. We know it's not real life. People cut themselves to make sure that make them look like they're bleeding. But there are some. These guys are. I'm going to put it out there. Athletes in their own right because they are doing some death-defying moves. Anyway, I saw the documentary about Andre the Giant, and this bloke is a giant. He's gargantuan.
How tall was he? Is he? No, he's dead now, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
He was like 7 foot something ridiculous. 7 foot 4 inches.
So he's like an NBA player now, basically. Whereas
Right.
back then they didn't have NBA players that were that tall.
This is what the documentary went through. So from the start, it told you about him, and I asked Nate to tell me what this word is. Acromology.
Yeah.
So this is his disease, basically giantism. So his body, from about I think between 12 and 16, just started growing exponentially because of this hormone.
Sorry, something's just tweaked. The giant spider in Harry Potter is an acromantula. That's linked to this disease.
Might be.
Isn't that
But
clever?
he's basically his body just went massive.
Right. Okay.
And like it's just hands are just.
like spades, basically, aren't they?
They
Huge.
compared it to like they
Shovels,
didn't say
what
a
you wanna call
silverback gorilla, but you know how big the gorilla's hands
Yeah.
are. It was just like this. So they charted his from where he was a boy, and he got into wrestling, and then it kind of went on a story around how wrestling was in America. Now at this time there were lots of different states that were showing wrestling. There wasn't a WWE or WWF as it was called.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But then what happened is then cable TV came in, and Vince McMahon Senior saw this and then just started pulling wrestlers together. So that's how the World Wrestling Federation started. And anyway, it talks about Andre, and then it gets a bit upsetting actually because he was a big man. He can't hide anywhere. You couldn't just walk down the street and go to Starbucks or whatever for a coffee. So they were showing that sign, and then how his body was breaking down and how he couldn't move as much anymore. But
He had a lot of back problems, didn't he, later in life?
everything was...
Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, he has a lot of trouble with that because he's nearly 7 foot or something.
Yeah.
A similar sort of thing. And we saw him at a Comic Con, and he had to
You can't walk
he
anymore,
had to
I
have
don't
one of
think.
those scooter things.
So he's
yeah.
I mean, it was heart wrenching, and you could see the people that his life's touched. Hulk Hogan was being there, everything else. It was just fantastic, and it basically culminated in he was undefeated in wrestling because of the size of him. But Vince McMahon managed to pull him in because he was going to retire and all this to WrestleMania 3, which had 93,000 people watching a wrestling match.
What, actually in the arena?
In the
That's
arena.
incredible,
So
isn't it?
at the time, Hulk Hogan was worried whether Andre the Giant was going to go to the script or do stuff. He had to work around him because he couldn't move. So you see all the gymnastic type esque moves that happen. Now it was just fantastic, and you could see that they were all. He basically died alone in a Paris hotel room, had a heart attack.
This is on Sky, isn't it? It's a Sky
It was an HBO sports documentary.
Right.
It was. I watched it purely because I was so into wrestling, and it's nice to see a bit of a backstory about this gentle giant
And,
who was also in The Princess
I
Bride.
was going to say in The Princess Bride, he's not only has he got fame from all over the place, he's got nerd fame as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And his drinking was out of control. He would be drinking 24 beers and 3 bottles of wine.
But that would be like me drinking 2 beers.
Yeah.
I
And
think
one
I'm going to watch
bottle.
that.
It
I
was-
think
it
within
was
the
re-
next week I'm going to try and crack that.
It was good. It was really, really good.
Sounds really interesting. Westworld 2?
Yeah. Finale. I watched it. Finale. Finale. Yeah, it's finale.
Yeah.
Final episode of season 2.
We both watched it last night.
Yeah, I'm pissed off of it. It's the hipster of TV shows. It's unnecessarily confusing. I hate the fact that I had to read a Reddit article that you sent me today to understand the timeline. Pissed me off. I'll be back for season 3.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, Game of Thrones is a bit like that.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's
Wait,
not.
it was originally.
No, it's no. Game of Thrones doesn't. They don't.
No, they don't
skip
play
the-
with timelines, but they had different names and families and things, and you had to research that to enjoy it.
Yeah, but that's fine because I think it's what it's not doing is
I like
it's not
Elway.
presenting as a linear.
That's fine because
timeline.
that's the thing I like.
No. But Game of Thrones presents, and it's always moving the plot forward. Whereas
Yeah.
this, it's I'm having to stop and I'm having to pause it in the show and think, right. So when is that happening? And that's happening before this has happened. But why are they showing it to me now? There is no reason why they're showing it to me now, other than to confuse the viewer. And I hate it, and I will come back for season 3.
I doubt it's to confuse you. That's its thing. It does.
Yeah.
It plays with time.
I do agree with Ben. I did have to read a couple of articles just to get my head around what was going on. But it closed off some questions, and now it's posed more.
A lot more, yeah.
I think...
Watch it and tell us what you think, Nate. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
yeah,
behind, but I will. I'll catch up. At some
Okay,
point.
I haven't got it on there, but I also watched Bluebird season 8 finale as well, and that was great. All right, thanks very much. Cheers.
All done. Move on to everything Superman. It's Ben farting. So I want to talk about Superman and the live-action version of Superman. There's a little high five going on there. Now, I've listed 5 things on here, and I thought we could just go through them, things that we liked about and things we didn't like about them.
Sure.
So I've put together Superman 79 and sequels.
Yeah.
Why 79? I'm
That's when
stupid.
it came out.
That's when it came
Thanks
out.
very much.
Yeah.
Can you put
Was it
19?
78 or 79? I feel like that's not right.
Can you put
78, actually, I think.
Yeah, I feel like I've made a mistake.
Yeah, it is 78.
opening mistake on your favourite character?
I know.
Oh,
Different,
Oh.
awkward.
that's a really good smash as well. Hand.
Yeah.
You're strong, Ben. Are you Superman?
I'm Batman. It was definitely 1978.
Sorry,
though.
callers. Just putting you on
Yeah,
hold.
hold fire.
How difficult is it to find?
It isn't. I don't know what he's doing.
No, hang on. Yeah, 78, because 79 was the Return of Superman, sorry.
Great year, 78.
Yeah.
1978.
Yeah, so 78.
correct.
78 and sequels. Lois and Clark, Smallville, Superman Returns, and then The Man of Steel, BVS, JL, Superman.
Yeah, that all kind of fits into one
Yeah, that
category,
feels the timeline, doesn't
Yeah.
it? It feels about right. So Superman 79. Chris Reeve.
Yes.
Margot
Basically,
Kidder.
Yes.
Gene Hackman.
The late, great Margot
I've got like
Kidder.
a dry skin on my nose that I can see.
That's because
I
you
can
spent
see
the
it.
entire weekend in the sun and didn't put any suntan lotion on
No,
your
no,
nose.
but it's fine. I just can see it. Like I don't care if it's dry and you guys are seeing it. You can see me in my worst state. I don't care. But I can.
Always.
It's there, just sticking out into my eye line.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a thing that your eyes can always see your nose, but your brain cuts it out of your vision.
Didn't know that.
Unlucky. Now you can see your nose.
Are we talking about Superman?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Reeve has every single embodiment of Superman that you could possibly want.
Yep.
Yes.
I just think he's handed some fairly poor sci-fi choices.
What
Yeah,
do you
well,
mean?
it's of its
Elaborate
time,
a little
isn't
bit.
it?
Yeah, so
Superman.
okay, so Superman 1, the massive thing that annoys me about it is the spinning around the world to turn back time
Yep.
and that sort of thing. That really bothers me because other than that, Superman's powers seem consistent with who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Superman 2, there's the throwing off the shield and the weird plastic thing that wraps around him and the chamber that removes his powers and then gives them back and that sort of thing. I feel like there's some sci-fi choices in the Superman films from 78 that are a little bit...
But do you mean, are you
out
talking
there.
about more around special effects? Because if you think about the story of where he loses his powers, because he's made a decision, he loves Lois, he doesn't want to have those powers anymore. Okay, yeah, it looks a bit weird, and yes, the thing that throws and covers him looks like a bit like a condom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's really
horrible.
bad. Yeah,
But
yeah.
but if that was,
I'll
if
let you
they were
finish
to,
your point.
if
Sorry,
they were to
Jamie.
remake that and make it look better, it was the technology
The limitations of it.
limitations.
Yeah,
of that. But the underlying story.
Yeah, and I think the first Superman, definitely. If we take the sequels out for a second, but Superman the movie, you're right. I love all the Smallville stuff. I love when he first comes to Metropolis. I love when you first see him and he has that night where he's going around Metropolis and like saving a cat and catching the helicopter and all that sort of stuff.
Just being Superman.
Yeah, exactly. He's completely embodies him. But you're right. It's perhaps when that happens that I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about it because of the way it looks. Having said that, it is incredibly consistent for the comic books at the time.
Yes,
because
that was what I was going to say.
Silver Age Superman could do anything.
He
like
was
they wrote
overpowered.
it. Like he could. There was one stupid storyline where he could fire a smaller version of himself out of his hand. Like that's how dumb the powers became. You know, it was so ridiculous.
Are you having me
heard
on?
that
And
right.
like
No,
there were stories where Lois Lane became like a giant woman, and like there was Jimmy Olsen had his own comic book because he had wacky adventures, and he always had the Superman watch where if he tapped it, Superman could hear it anywhere, and he could come and save him. There was some really stupid stuff that started happening.
Yeah.
So it is consistent with that.
Yeah.
I'm a child of the 90s and 80s, sorry, 80s and 90s, so I expect it to be a bit grittier, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I
agree with that. I think the biggest credit you can give to Christopher Reeve's Superman, there are a couple of things. One, it obviously influenced comic book creators enough that now, whenever Jeff Johns and Gary Frank do anything to do with Superman, the character that they write and draw acts and looks like Christopher Reeve.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing
there's a reason for that. I mean, Gary Frank's artwork is that way, but Jeff Johns
worked with Donner,
Richard Donner,
yeah,
on that time. Yeah,
there you go. The other thing is I think that you could pick up Christopher Reeve's Superman, his Clark Kent.
I mean, you couldn't. He's Superman.
Sure, but
is he heavy?
I think he could stop himself from being lifted. You think he flies through the will?
I could stop you from lifting me.
No,
I can make myself heavy.
Oh, it's because you're a man, aren't you? You're all that is man, more manly than man.
No. But there is anyway.
Yeah, you could lift him out of the situation.
You could take him from the films that he's in, and you could put him in Man of Steel, and Man of Steel would probably be a slightly better film because you have a Superman that you know and love in there, and he wouldn't be out of place. I'm not so sure you could do the same with Cavill and put him back in Superman 78.
When we get to it, that is the criticism I'd have of Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League, which they kind of try to retcon, is that lightness of Superman. And Reeve does have the ability to show emotional weight in Superman 2. I know there's been a couple of different versions of it. You know, the Richard Donner cut and the Richard Lester, thank you, cut. Even in both of them, when he chooses to tell Lois who he is, and there's those moments where he's contemplating whether it's the right thing to do or stuff. You can see Reeve showing the turmoil within him, and yet when he's Superman, he is the complete embodiment of good.
Yeah,
and it's
I really like the fact that Superman as a character doesn't need to be bulging muscles, and I think recent incarnations of that
Cavill.
Yeah, he is
short arms Henry.
Goodness gracious me! But Superman doesn't need to be like that. He's just an average Joe. He looks like an average Joe.
Yeah.
Well, his Clark Kent is supposed to be able to pass off as the normal garnish.
Yeah, he does this wonderful thing when he acts where he hunches his shoulders over, which he's supposed to, as in the comics they do. But he Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
And he wears a suit that's too big. He greases his hair down, and he's constantly pushing the glass up. He just does this thing. It's this physicality where you see Clark Kent.
He's brilliant.
That you could 100% believe. People would not believe he was the same man.
Yeah.
In Superman 2, he literally, he's Clark. Lois turns around, and it's just before he falls into the fire and has to show off that he is who he is.
That's right, yeah.
And you see him straighten his shoulders, and you go, "Holy shit! It's a different man in the room."
Yeah,
it's a
great
moment.
He probably raises about an inch in height because of the hunch down and that sort of thing. Raises about an inch, no more. But the change in him,
vocal as well. There's a timbre. Is that the right word?
Yeah, he's no longer the Lois. I don't know what you're talking about. He's more like the hi Lois, I'm Superman, and it's like, I've got an erection right now.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Wow. No, he went there with it.
That's too much.
Yeah.
It's such fantastic acting from Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Physical acting that you can just dropping his shoulders a bit and hunching his neck down, and then just straightening himself up and changing the timbre in his voice.
Yeah. Now,
fantastic.
Having said that, I'm not even going to talk about Superman 3 or 4 because I really don't like either of them.
I want to just mention Superman 3 just for a moment.
Because it was syndicated in UK television and shown pretty much every week in our childhood.
Yes.
Right.
Also, two things. Number one, I went to the cinema to see Superman 3 in the ABC in Exeter, which no longer exists.
No.
And when evil, fake kryptonite poisoned Superman is having a fight with Clark Kent,
Yeah.
I had to run out of the room screaming, cried.
It's the best bit of the film, without a doubt.
Later in life, I've come to appreciate the inner turmoil that scene is trying to show. And when good Superman wins, and then it opens his shirt and you see the crest and the music flares up.
Yeah.
That's the best cinematic Superman thing for me ever. Scene for me.
Okay.
Because it's just so brilliant. He's conquered his inner demons and now he's going to make right everything that he did wrong.
So I can crowbar what you've just said into what I was going to say.
Fantastic.
The best villain in the entirety of the Donner-esque Superman series is Evil Superman. Because Gene Hackman is horrible. Just horrible, and not in the right way as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He's camp and annoying and loud, and I don't like the guy that's his underling who's in Deliverance, who's fantastic in Deliverance.
I know exactly who you mean. I can't remember his name. Otis.
Otis, yeah, but I can't remember the actor's name either.
Something Beatty. Ned Beatty?
Yeah, it's Ned Beatty, I think. Yeah. Awful foil to Superman.
Yeah,
that Gene
he's
Hackman,
not
Lex
great.
Luthor. I'm not a fan of him at all. In fact, I don't think Lex has been nailed in the movies.
No, I don't think he has either. Ever.
No.
Not even with the recent stuff.
No, he seemed. I mean, I don't know what he's supposed to be in the comics, but it comes across as a schizophrenic in the most recent films.
Yeah,
he's
and
just all over the shop.
He's not that.
And he doesn't seem like an intelligent person. He just seems to have wealth that can just do anything he wants.
I'll tell you who
That's
the
what I
best,
think.
the best Lex Luthor, and we'll get to it, but the best Lex Luthor for on screen for the comic books is Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville. He is almost spot on.
That's a good point.
He's
Totally agreed.
controlled, intelligent, arrogant, the master of his world. And Rosenbaum.
And at times, just on the edge of completely losing it, but never really letting
Yeah.
himself go that far.
But before we get to that, should we talk about Lois and Clark?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
You guys don't like Lois and Clark. We had a little. The reason we're having this conversation is we had a coffee a few weeks back, or a couple of days. No, last week.
Probably was a week or so
Yeah,
back.
yeah. And we started just talking about Superman.
Yeah.
I was like, Lois and Clark's great, and you both went, backed away from me.
I think it's great again for its time, but I think if you went back and really watched it now, I think you'd probably be a little bit disappointed.
It's the same with Superman 78, isn't it?
No, because
the
I can
effects.
always watch that because it's a classic film.
I,
Lois and Clark does not hold a candle to Superman 78, Superman 2, or Superman 3. I would let you have that it's better than Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Anything's better than Superman.
Which is the
4.
worst Superman film ever.
I was
Lois
just
and
reading
Clark,
about
go on.
that. Apparently, the budget went from 35 million to 15 million on a film.
wow.
Yeah, and they shot it in like Hull or something like that. Or can't remember where.
But the thing about Lois and Clark is it's actually not about Superman.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
about Lois Lane and Clark and their relationship.
Yeah.
And
And Superman just happens to show up every
yeah,
now and
it's a
then.
90s romantic comedy, bumbling sci-fi TV series. I think it's great for what it is. And they get married in it, and Dean Cain is charming as hell, and it launched Terry Hatcher's career
There's
To
a
what?
to being Terry Hatcher.
in Desperate Housewives.
Good point. But she was also in.
She was in a Bond movie.
She
She
was
was
a Bond
in
girl.
The World Is Not Enough.
Yeah.
No, she's in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll let him have that.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Lois and Clark.
What
I
do you think of the
it's
Lex
fun.
Luthor in Lois and Clark?
Recast?
Possibly? I don't know.
Or was binned out in the first season. They recast Jimmy Olsen
Yes, they did.
Oh,
because
yeah,
he
yeah.
looked too much like Dean Cain.
Yeah,
So
they got rid of it.
they got rid of him and they made him more like quirky.
Who's this guy? Can we make him Superboy? We got to recast this bloke. Come on.
I've left off the Superboy TV show on this because there was a big Superboy TV show which came in between these two, and
God.
in
Yeah.
that Superboy himself was recast.
Oh my
And
god.
he was in season 1. It was a very popular season. He asked for a pay rise, and they said get out, and they got someone who people liked much better.
Wow.
Apparently, it was quite good. I didn't watch any of it.
No,
but
I
yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
I didn't see it.
Lois and Clark. I think it's the Lex in it is. I only remember from the first couple of seasons, the first season maybe. I think he was either binned out and came back later, but he was very mustache twirling.
He was more believable as Lex Luthor than Gene Hackman, but he wasn't anywhere at the level of Michael Rosenbaum, who came next.
Yeah, I wasn't keen on him.
Nah.
I like that Lois and Clark gives Lois more attention. I think that she is a really important character, and I think that's what there was these news stories of DC were going to make a TV show that was about Lois and Lex investigating things in Metropolis before Superman had come around. Yeah, you're shaking your head at me because it sounds awful, right?
It does. It sounds despicable.
I don't know if it's coming or not, but you can see where the idea of that's come from when you look back at Lois and Clark.
Yeah,
and you think,
someone watched a rerun of Lois and Clark basically and went, "Hey, we should do this again."
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it hit the dizzy heights. I mean, I remember watching this program.
Oh, it was very popular.
On a Saturday?
Yeah, it was on a Saturday evening prime time slot around 7
Yeah.
o'clock. It
I
was
wonder if-
popular.
I wonder if I can get him on.
Doesn't make it good.
Well,
Doesn't make it good. I think I tuned out when there was a H.G. Wells turned up in his time machine,
Brilliant.
and I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Okay, something we should talk about
Go on then.
is the music in them. Because actually, that's the first thing that you guys did when we started talking about Superman. We did the original theme,
well,
right?
just because that is
Do you know
But-
the theme to Lois and Clark?
no.
Da, 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 da.
Have you got it?
I'm going to play it for you.
No way.
Line it up. Line it up. Cue it up. Let's get the mic in here. The theme's not actually that bad, if I'm honest with you. Did Terry Hatcher have top billing over Dean Kent?
Yeah, I think she did,
There you go. See, that's good.
It's great. We're watching that. He gets recast because it's too much
Yeah, I
like
know.
Jimmy Olsen. It's great. I'm sorry. It's really dumb, great stuff.
When did it come out?
1992, I believe.
Bloody hell.
Is it 92? I might have saw my laptop's doing some fun stuff. Or 94, maybe, I think. Yeah, 94, sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I can remember my friend's dad really liking it because he really likes Terry Hatcher.
Yeah, that's right. That might be the reason why I watched it.
That might have been the reason why it was so popular on a Saturday night as
1993.
well.
Yeah, 94,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was around 15.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened with Lois and Clark? Did it get cancelled or did it wrap up nicely?
No, I think it got cancelled. I think there was supposed to be hang on, I've got it on here somewhere. Oh gosh, where is it? Something happened with there was going to be a storyline where he went back to Krypton. I think some other kryptonite.
I think
Kryptonians
the
appear.
series ended on a cliffhanger in which Lois and Clark find an infant in Clark's old basement, along with a
Basement.
note. Yeah, along with a note that claimed the children belonged to them.
Yeah.
This mystery was never resolved.
So there was time travel and there was other Kryptonians, and I think he went off for one season and came back.
Told you H.G. Wells showed up with his time
Yeah,
machine.
yeah. So something about that happened.
Am I wrong? But did Mr. Mixel's Pidliek or whatever he's called show up in it at some point?
Almost certainly he would have done.
Unbelievable. He's an imp from the fourth dimension or something, James. He's
Yeah.
I think for what it attempted to do and what it achieved and the success it had, you've got to give it some credit.
We've talked about it for a long time.
It's
on this
great.
podcast.
It's great fun. It's
Yeah.
like we're going to get to Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League, and the things we're going to say is, dear God, they are dark and they are hard to watch because someone's soaring outside. Sorry, they're dark and hard to watch because they're not fun and they're grim and these bad things happen. But Lois and Clark is fun.
It's the exact opposite of that,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
His spandex is shiny.
Yes, it is.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving on.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Smallville.
Where he did not wear spandex at all.
So the blurb for this was no tights, no flights.
Yeah.
So basically, the idea was supposed to be Smallville. It was supposed to be Clark Kent growing up as a young man or a young boy, and they didn't want to have him in the costume, and they didn't want to have him flying, and that was going to be where it was going to build to, and eventually they did do that. 10 years of it, 10 seasons of it.
Yeah.
I really loved Smallville. I came to it late. I came to it about season 7, I think.
Wow.
I think I smashed 6 or 7 seasons, and then I was catching up with it.
Yeah.
But it became a guilty pleasure.
Yes.
I absolutely love this.
I liked Smallville as
Yeah.
well. I thought Smallville was great.
I
remember
like the
being really
fact-
impressed with it. And I saw when they announced it and I thought, Superman in his early days. Oh, okay, well, that would just be Superboy, but okay, fine. Well, I'll take a look and check it out. It was great. The first season is very Freak of the Week.
Yeah,
You know,
the first few seasons of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when it sort of finds its footing, I love the Jonathan Kent character in it as well. by
Yeah,
the way. The guy
yeah,
that was
yeah.
in Dukes of
Oh,
Hazzard in the
yes.
80s. He's fantastic.
He was a really good father figure, and
He was.
And when he was telling Clark off, or how you felt like that was your dad telling you,
Yeah,
and you're like,
you felt disappointed in yourself.
yeah, I
didn't
was
you?
like, I'm gonna do something about that.
But Martha Kent is the lady who played Lana Lang from
Yes.
Superman 3.
Yeah, there you go.
So-
Absolutely brilliant.
Annette O'Toole.
Yeah,
Who played Clark again? Was it Tom Welling?
Welling.
Yeah.
Now,
He was great.
what you were about to say? What you liked about Smallville?
No, I don't think I was.
You went to say I think I liked about it. I'm sure we cut you off.
Don't remember.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Don't
I'll cut
carry
that
on.
bit out.
Tom Welling, very good as the role he's given. I think it was written a bit mopey.
Well,
do
he
you
was a
mean?
teenager.
Yeah.
Discovering that he had these powers and not quite
You're
sure
right.
how to deal with them.
Its biggest failing for me is that it doesn't ever go down the route of Superman. I feel like when they decided to transition to Metropolis, which they did, I think
About season 6, maybe?
something
or
like that, yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
Lois Lane's in it. Great Lois Lane.
hot.
What's her
Erica
name?
Durance.
Yeah.
Oh, well
she's
done. We couldn't remember her name the other
she's
week.
very good for being sort of that spunky go get 'em type. Do you know what I mean? She's got that sort of.
She's Lois Lane.
She prods Clark when he needs to be prodded. She's like, "Come on, Smallville, come on, let's do
Yeah.
it, come on," and it's like the Lana in it is quite boring by the end.
Yes, she's a bit samey. I think I remember what I was going to say. I liked the transition from Smallville to Metropolis because it went from small town hero to and small town problems to wow, look at this.
Yes,
this
agreed.
is like holy. I could run down my small town street and quickly save the cat,
Yeah.
but now I've got 15 cats I need to
Yeah,
save.
yeah.
Why did I say cats?
No.
Doesn't
But,
matter.
and I
Nothing
really
matters.
like I really like that he went from just wearing like the red jacket and being the red blue blur to having that black suit, and I
Yeah.
loved the silver S. I loved all that look, but they should have called it Superman. They should have just gone Superman, Smallville. I don't know.
Once you went, what do you think about Oliver Queen coming into it in the Green Arrow?
Interesting. I don't. There are times I like him in it, and times I don't like him in it.
He became a series regular, I think.
He
didn't
did, yeah.
I quite liked it in that he gave. Again, I'm going back to my small town, big town.
Yeah.
You might need to make bigger decisions, and that character as a Green Arrow has to make those because of the way that he
Yeah, the way he sets up.
fights
Yeah,
crime
yeah.
compared to the I'm going to hand you in. Superman's going to catch you. I'm going to hand you in, and justice will serve your whatever.
yeah.
Whereas the Green Arrow's like, I'm going to save my city, and I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Arrow, the TV show, only really exists because of this.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was a bold decision to not have it the same character, to do their own thing again. But I do think the Oliver Queen he's lighter, because Smallville is lighter than the new ones.
Yeah.
But he's got the same characterization. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about this. The show actually has basically set up all the rest of superhero shows like this, where you've got a tech person, you've got the hero out in the field, you've got a mentor type character. All of the Arrowverse films shows do that now.
Yeah. Person,
They copy it.
The guy or the girl in the chair doing the tech stuff. Like, what was she called? Chloe?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
she's a terrible person, isn't she?
Yeah, she's an awful person now, trying to get
Yeah.
people into sex rings or something.
Who's this? What?
The actual
Chloe
actress.
Bennett. Chloe
All
Bennett?
right.
Is it Chloe Bennett? No, Chloe
Sullivan.
something.
Yeah, Sullivan. No, she's a really awful
No,
person. in
sorry,
real life.
no. Clay Sullivan is the character.
Yeah, the actress is a really horrible, awful.
Alison Mack.
Yeah,
I'm just pulling this off the top of my head.
yeah.
Very good, Jamie.
Also, didn't it do some clever stuff with? It did some clever sci-fi stuff. There was a lot of. There was like Zod was in there,
Yeah,
and Doomsday
Doomsday.
was in there.
I
and
didn't like Doomsday. That
But
was not well done.
I liked that it did all of these things. I just wish it had called itself Superman.
Didn't the last season do Brainiac?
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
I don't.
No, it wasn't Brainiac.
No,
it was
Brainiac was in it. It was the guy from.
Yeah, James Marsden.
Yeah, James
not James Marsden.
Masterson.
Masterson.
From
Whatever.
Buffy.
No. Didn't it do? Sorry. Jesus.
New
no.
Krypton or something?
No. The last season. Who was the? Oh, for Christ's sake! Who's the big threat? Darkseid. Didn't it do Darkseid in the last season? Or it tried to, and it didn't do it very well.
I don't know that it did.
No, I don't. I'm looking
I
for Darkseid.
think you're making that up.
I genuinely can't remember how it ended.
I can. Right at the end, he pulls open his shirt on,
Does he
on top of
defeat
the
Doomsday
Metropolis. Yeah.
Because he has a big fight with him, doesn't he?
Yes.
And Doomsday looks quite scary.
Yes.
Is that right?
Smallville Wiki, Dark Side. Boom.
Oh.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
I'm reading from the internet. The internet's never wrong. How dare you?
They brought Rosenbaum back for the finale.
Yeah.
Which
they
was
had to.
nice because they got rid of him he left.
Yeah, look. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now we've kind of skipped ahead in time a little bit because the Superman suit he wears is actually the Superman Returns suit.
Yes.
Is actually the Brandon Routh suit, and you see him on his chest, but
Yeah.
and he flies, and you see him in silhouette, but you don't actually see.
You never actually see him stood there, fully in picture,
Yeah.
wearing the Superman suit, cape billowing.
It's the most disappointing part about Smallville for me because I would have loved to have like you say, when it goes to Metropolis, I enjoyed all that. I really would have loved it just to be Superman, and we see it. And I don't know why they didn't do that because it's not like
When have they ever rebranded a show when it's transitioned to something different?
Yes, well, that's why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking in terms of rights for it or budget for it. Well, you're already doing all the Superman things, so just make it.
Just
Superman.
make it. Just call it Smallville.
I could
Superman.
I could smash through Smallville if you told me to.
It's great fun.
I would go for it.
20-something episodes a season, wasn't
It's
it?
a lot.
22?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you got to it there. So the suit that he wears,
It's Superman Returns suit.
and Superman Returns, I think, is such a missed opportunity. It's unbelievable.
Okay, so yes, agreed. By the way, I meant to say, I especially wore my Superman sock today.
Oh,
They
very
are
nice
nice.
too.
Yeah,
Very
that's
nice
great.
too.
Superman Returns has my favourite on-screen Superman sequence moment, whatever you want to call it, of all time, and it happens to be in the most disappointing adaptation of Superman ever. The plane scene where Supes first turns up in Superman Returns, and
Lois is on a plane.
Lois is on a plane, and
Getting thrown around the cabin
yeah.
because she didn't fasten her seatbelt.
But I also
Idiot.
I think the action's
She's a
great.
know-it-all.
It goes a little bit spacey because they go into the atmosphere. You see him use heat vision from his eyes, which is wonderful. It's incredibly tense. The pacing of the action sequence is incredible. It's just fantastic. Like there's a bit where his entire goal is to save the plane, and he has to do it the quickest way possible. One of the wings breaks off, so instead of flying around it, he just smashes straight through it. It's a great decision for the filmmakers to show that. And then he catches the plane, and everyone cheers, and you know the audience of the film are the audience in the baseball ground, and then he puts it down. He gets to say the cheesy line about statistically flying is still the safest way to travel. I love it. I love it so much. It looks fantastic. Brandon Routh is one of the best Supermen that have ever been.
And of course, Superman Returns is a direct sequel to Superman 2.
No, it's a direct sequel to the director's cut of Superman 2.
I do beg your pardon. There you go.
But the material he's given is mopey, boring,
Yep.
Gene Hackman, Lex Luthor-esque, Kevin Spacey over-the-top nonsense.
Sure. Kevin Spacey's none of those bad guys these days. However, what do you think of his Lex Luthor?
He's a better actor than Gene Hackman, maybe. Not a nice person, apparently.
I quite like Lex Luthor's plot in this film, which is a throwback to the original Superman, where his dad always told him to buy land because they ain't making any more of it. So he makes more land. I think that's really, really clever that they did that. But it's infused with kryptonite, so Superman's depowered there, and that's clever.
But it doesn't make sense because he's depowered for a little bit. He even gets stabbed with kryptonite, but he still manages to fly the rock into space.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And when you step outside of the film content and you look at the way it was made, Bryan Singer left X-Men 3 to make this movie.
Bryan Singer, another potential bad guy.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I think he made a misstep with this movie and therefore allowed the X-Men series to be made into a misstep as well. It was just bad from all fronts. And he took Cyclops with him. The only likable character in Superman Returns is Cyclops. He's a really good guy. He doesn't hate Lois for the fact that he knows that he's raising Superman's son, even though he doesn't say it outright. He loves Lois. He loves the boy. He does everything for them. He's good for them. He saves them.
What about the boy? He's likeable. He needs a bloody haircut.
I mean, he's not interesting though.
There isn't. I find it's not memorable in my head.
No, I was going to say to you this is exactly what I was going to say. Tell me something that Lois does in this film.
She's a pain in the ass.
Wow.
But there's not, for me, I want a Superman film to have lots of action.
Okay, agreed. But when Superman's on screen, he's great. He saves the airplane.
Yep.
He has a night, like in Superman 1, where he goes around and saves people, and there's the great scene with the minigun firing him, and someone fires a bullet into his eye.
Yeah, that's good.
Great stuff, right?
Yeah.
What about the? There's another moment when the earthquake goes off in Metropolis because the new land is being built, and he flies into Metropolis, and all the glass shatters, and he turns around and casually burns all the glass so that it melts into sand, doesn't hurt anyone. Brilliant little sequence.
Mm-hmm. You
But
love
when
the
he-
special effects. It's
I
good.
do, and when he raises the landmass into space,
Yeah.
looks brilliant, amazing. You see the struggle. Doesn't make sense in its
No.
storyline.
I would argue that some of the Superman effects are not great in this day and age.
Disagree.
Like some of the times when you see Superman, and when you probably saw it back in 2006, is that when
Yeah.
it came out?
I think
You
so.
probably thought, "Hey, my God, a man's actually flying." Now it's like, well, that's a CG character, and it doesn't look as good as it could do. I'm not so sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm remembering it differently, but I don't know.
I really like the suit as well. I really like Superman Returns, but I
like the
know
suit.
it's bad. You're looking at me like, I can't believe you like it, but
Well, yeah. Like I said, it's
boring, right?
not non-eventful, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
if it's on TV on a Sunday, I might watch it, but I'm probably going to step out the room to make a cup of tea and not stop telly.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just let that run on till I stop the telly.
The thing is, but my point is, you would watch it for the Superman bits in it, because the Superman bits in it are pretty good. The rest of it is a bit, I don't really care.
No.
No.
I think the casting of Lois Lane was a little bit of a misstep.
What's her name?
Kate Bosworth.
Kate Bosworth, who then went on to do a surfing movie and nothing else.
Gnarly.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what else she's done. I think she was in a movie called 21 with some English actor who's playing an American guy. It's based on a true story. Again, Spacey was in it, and it's a guy who was cleaning up counting cards in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I've
There
seen
you
that. Yeah. Oh, not seen it. I've
She's
heard
done a
that,
few
yeah.
things, but nothing that
Yeah.
I've watched.
I really like Superman Returns, but I know it's a fail.
Yeah.
What about the last line here then, Nate? What are we going to do? Come on.
Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League. We've talked about this at length generally in the past.
Yep.
What do you think about the Man of Steel?
I do quite like it. I like that it's rebooted. I quite like I don't like the fact that he's muscly. I don't get. That's one of the things I don't like.
So dreamy.
Oh yeah, I definitely would. It seems a lot darker.
Yeah.
Than any others. I mean, I see Batman as a dark character. You know, a lot of inner demons. I don't generally feel that with the Superman character. But I do like it. I do genuinely like it. I mean, I like the fact at the end. I'm just going straight to the end.
Do it.
Where they're fighting around and they're going nuts, and Superman has to make a decision.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's that Green Arrow type of "this is my city" or "this is my world," and it breaks his neck.
It's a moment of controversy that a lot of people are they're on different sides of the camp. You could just write it around it, but I also don't mind the neck snap because of the way it's dealt with. Because as soon as he does it, he's horrified with himself, screams, and is upset. It's dealt with later on in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's one of the things I liked about Batman versus Superman.
Is it dealt
was
with?
that other side of
Yeah.
this Superman is trying his best to save the world.
But he's new at it, yeah?
He's new at it, but he's also causing absolute carnage.
Yeah.
You know, he may be...
And that drives
fighting-
Batman's belief that he is not the best person for this earth and maybe he should be dealt with. I think that is also very, very well done.
Yes.
I do think that the characterization of Superman in this film is a little bit off. Okay, they've made it more realistic, but I think they've made him a bit mopey. And Superman's not supposed to be like that. And even though he's lost his dad and he's had all these hardships and he's tried not to use his powers and then he has used his powers, I do think that he's not quite the Superman that I want him to be. At the same time, all the action, like we've just talked about, all the destruction of Metropolis and how that drives forward the plot in BVS, I think is superbly handled, because there was so much destruction at the end of Man of Steel. Everyone was talking about afterwards. It was the one thing that people kept on going about. Oh, it causes way too much carnage. Look how many people died in that building. Well, that's dealt with in the next film. That's great. I think that I don't have a problem with the next snap, because I think it fits the characterization of this Superman. Now he might be mischaracterized, but it fits in his character. It does feel like something he would do. Now, I'm not sure how Christopher Reeve's Superman would deal with Zod in that same situation in the 1980 sequel. I don't know how that would play out. So I think doing that, it just goes to show you the lengths that Superman will go to protect innocent people. And like I said, it does drive BVS.
Yeah.
His characterization, he's wasted in the theatrical cut of BVS.
Step aside from BVS for a second, just stick with Man of Steel, because it's the Superman focus.
Yes.
Is there anyone in it that's miscast? I asked that question because there isn't.
Not really. I don't think so.
Kevin Costner is amazing Superman dad.
Yeah.
But guess who else is an amazing Superman dad? Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want them as my dad.
my space dad!
The Krypton stuff at the beginning. I watch movies and movies of that. I would.
I
love it.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a
that is
proper
really
science fiction film, Man of Steel.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds like there's some sci-fi going on outside.
Yeah, it
I
does.
hope that wasn't picked up on the microphones. But yeah,
I'm sure
it's
it will be.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams is great. Perry White's great in it. The army guys are great in it. I really like it.
Yeah, it's a good film. It is a really good film.
I think the action scenes are superbly done.
If I was to make one change, I would reduce the amount of Kryptonians that appear in the second half of the movie. I think it's quite neatly wrapped up that they're all go through the wormhole or the whatever special anomaly that they make, apart from Zod.
Phantom Drive.
Yeah. It feels a little bit like there's too much going on there. I like that there are the two storylines where Superman has to destroy the machine. I quite like that machine destruction thing. It's it's tense. Music's great. Hans Zimmer's track in this is.
When does he do bad music?
Love it. I love it.
Doesn't do bad music.
Never.
Yeah, we've talked about that thing he has to fight down at the other side of the world being a total John Peters invention, but fine, whatever.
Yeah, Google that, guys. Yeah.
Please.
I really like Man of Steel. we did a commentary on it.
We did. I will try and remember to add in a link to it here.
And
now,
I ratted on this movie quite a lot.
We sat there and said, you said, I love Man of Steel. And I said, yeah, I'm okay with it. And then you destroyed it for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great.
They go fully over the top on the Christ the Redeemer, Christ, mythology type thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's even a scene where he goes to the church and it's taken straight out of For Tomorrow, the comic book by Jim Lee and Brian Azzarello, where he goes and meets the priest and he's sat there and there's even there's the stained glass window of Christ behind him. It's are we supposed to? Is he supposed to be like the Savior?
When he drifts out the
spaceship and he's on the cross and
he's got his
crucifix.
arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very heavy-handed.
It's on the nose.
But it's a beautiful film. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what as well it is. It's the perfect introduction to a trilogy of Superman films that we then didn't get the final part of.
Disagree. If you only use the Superman stuff, we got it pretty good.
Okay.
Apart from the lip.
Apart from the lip. Let's not go into BVS too much.
No, I don't want to go into BVS. It was more about Man of Steel. It was about that whole focus of it.
Yeah.
I like the tone of it. I like the characterization. He's a bit mopey, but he's in this world. He's in our world.
He's struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So, what's the best on that list then, boys?
Best on the list.
What's your favourite on the list? If you sat down now and you were forced to watch some Superman content from that list, what would you watch?
Well, I think it's really difficult. I would definitely put Lois and Clark at the bottom. And I don't think you could. I don't know if you could because it's Smallville is the other TV show. I think it's difficult to be able to say, could I just watch season 6 of Smallville? I think you would need to watch all of it. If I could invest my time... Oh, it's a good question.
I would watch Christopher Reeve's Man of Steel. That's what I'd watch. Boom. Nailed it, mate.
Wow.
Done. But if I was a gun at my head, I'd watch Man of Steel.
Okay. I would watch Man of Steel, but before that, I'd watch YouTube clips of the Superman stuff from Superman Returns. Because it's the best stuff there is.
Fair enough. Okay.
So
enough.
that was everything Superman? Question mark.
Yes, it was.
So shall we do some more Superman later in the year? Maybe
Yeah,
just
let's
some
do
comic
it.
books and stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like we've done it for today.
Yeah,
That's good.
definitely.
I'm going to go catch a train.
You should do that. I'm going to say, if you like this podcast, please give us a review. You can download it. Tell your friends to download it from iTunes, from Podbean, or from Spotify. You can tweet us, or Facebook us, or Instagram us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Nerdschatting. Drop us an email, nerdschatting@outlook.com, and check out our blog, nerdschatting.com.
I think you've done it. You've done it.
Smashed it.
Thank you
Always.
so much for listening, everybody.
I've been Ben.
And this is James.
And I'm Batman. It's Ben farting.
Do, 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 do. Da, da, da.